Okay, this is chapter 2-4, and we're going to be going over multi-step inequalities. That means inequalities that have at least two or more steps. Okay? On this first problem, let's just take a look at what we have to solve. We got to get this x by itself. So that entails getting rid of the 2, which we do the opposite, and we subtract 2 to the other side. Alright, and when we do that, the 2's cancel out, bringing down the negative 2x. Keep your inequality, and 6 minus 2 is 4. Now, we've got to get this x by itself, so we got to divide everything by negative 2. And remember the rule that we discussed, that when you multiply or divide by a negative number, the sign flips. So negative 2's cancel out, bring down your x, flip the sign, and 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2. Now remember, you also have to graph it. So we're going to put negative 2 right here on the line. This is less than or equal to, so it's a solid. And all the numbers that are less than negative 2 are to the left. Now, on this particular problem, you see that it's a fraction. However, we see that the x is in the numerator. So let's go ahead and get rid of the denominator of 3. So we're going to multiply by 3. Now, I've noticed quite a few kids doing stuff like this. Like they'll put the 3 down here and put 3 over here. That's all well and good, but sometimes you might mistake that for a denominator. So just to be on the safe side, let's put it in its proper place. So let's multiply it by 3 up here, because that's usually in the numerator, and then times 3 here. Notice I used a dot instead of a parentheses. Now you could use parentheses. Alright, now 3's are canceled. Write down what you have left over. Alright, we didn't multiply by negative numbers, so 3 times 7 is 21. So I'm going to leave the sign the way it is. Now, I need to solve for this x. That means I got to get rid of the 3. The 3 is positive, so we're going to subtract. And I end up getting negative 2x is less than or equal to 18. When we divide by negative 2, 2's cancel out, leaving me with x. I've got to flip the sign, and that is negative 9. So all the numbers that are greater than or equal to negative 9, so there's negative 9. It's solid because it's greater than or equal to, and so greater than is to the right. Now, let's take a look at this next one. This next one, the only variable I see is, let me go ahead and highlight this. The only variable I see is this right here. So we've got to get that x by itself. Well, how do we do that? Well, first of all, let's do our PEMDAS. Notice you have an, oops, let me take that back. Notice you have an exponent right there. So we have to do that first. So we get 4 minus x. Nothing happens on this side. And 3 times 4 minus 2 squared is 4. Now, this is going to be easy because we know 4 minus 4 is 0. So what you end up getting is 3 times 0. 3 times 0 is just 0. So 4 minus x is greater than 0. Now we're going to subtract the 4 from both sides. And when I do that, I end up bringing down this minus x greater than negative 4. Now I'm going to divide by negative 1 because there's an understood 1 there, and I got to get rid of that negative. And that leaves me with x. Flip the sign is less than positive 4. Alright, so 4, it's open, and all the x's are less than. Now, you might consider this, the negative 1's cancel out. A negative divided by negative is a positive. Therefore, you have x is less than 4. And then here's the graph to prove it. Now, on this last one, on this particular one, you've got to recall that, look, if you look here, 4, 3, and 4, you've got these denominators. Well, what do they all have in common? Well, they all have 12 in common. So what we practiced on today and the other day, we're going to multiply every term. We have 1 term, 2 terms, 3 terms. We're going to multiply all 3 terms by the LCD. So let me get rid of those boxes. So here we go. We're going to multiply this by 12. We're going to multiply this by 12. And we're going to multiply this last one by 12. Now, when we multiply by 12, folks, your denominator is going to go away. So 4 goes into 12 3 times. And now you have 3 times 1, which is just 3. And then, of course, x. Plus 3 goes into 12 4 times. And you multiply the 4 times the 2, which is 8. Keep your sign. 4 goes into 12 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Now we've gotten rid of all of our denominators. We can work from this. We're going to subtract 8. Okay. Bring down your 3x is less than 1. We're going to divide by 3. And x is less than 1/3. Let's go ahead and graph it. Alright, it's open because it's less than, and all the numbers that are less than 1/3 are to the left. And that right there is 4 quick problems on multi-step inequalities.